Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. We hope, we pray that everybody is well and will be better. This is your brother and friend, Yeshaya Yisrael. We come, brothers and sisters, in giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the one who sees all and is not seen, the one who judges all and is not judged, brothers and sisters. I don't come on this platform, brothers and sisters. We are on More Yeshaya Torah lessons, More Yeshaya history lessons as well. I do not come on this platform professing to know everything. Nonetheless, brothers and sisters, we do care to get a particular point out first, if we may. There was a statement that was made essentially saying that the men are the leaders, the men are the heads, and that is very, very true, brothers and sisters. It is not a matter of it being misogynistic or the hatred of women to sit there and understand that particular matter. And there are two things I would like to say, if I may, regarding the male, the man being the leader, being the head, say, in a situation. He must move correctly. This is not to say there will not be any mistakes. This is not to say that there will not be things that are done that are just wrong. But nonetheless, brothers and sisters, what we are attempting to convey and what we are attempting to say, brothers and sisters, is this. Move correctly. And in moving correctly, do not be a hindrance to one another. certainly do not be disrespectful to one another. Brothers and sisters. The other thing is, if it is said that the man being a leader and the man being a head in a situation is also judged first in a situation, can we think what will happen with they who seen a man being judged or so in a situation and walks contrary to what is right afterward, walks willingly in wrong after seeing the man, the head, be judged and say a matter? To say that the man is judged first is not a ploy for a woman or a lady to continue in wickedness and say, well, look at the examples I have. Because if Proverbs teaches us that a child is known for his or her ways, whether they be right or not, then certainly a grown woman's ways are known, whether they be right or not. An example, and no disrespect is intended, is in the scriptures with David and Nabal. Nabal's wife had more character in being right than her husband did. So that right there just goes to show you an example of a man who is not living right and his wife happens to be living right. It's not a thing where, well, if he's not living right and he's the head, so I don't have to live right because, well, look at the example. Such is not the case. You understand? If the man is the head, brothers and sisters, and you follow that person in doing wrong, he is wrong for leading you astray, and you are wrong if you know you're being led astray and maybe perhaps willingly blinded yourself. Like it says in Isaiah, blind yourselves and be blind. Ye that are drunken, but not with wine, that stagger, but not with strong drink. For the Most High has put a spirit of deep sleep on the people. So if a person wants to move like he or she is blind, like I just don't know, you have to be careful what you're doing and dealing with. Because if the Most High causes that to be your reality, then what? I am not coming on the platform professing myself to be righteous. I am not perfect. There is not a good man on earth that sinneth not, is what Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 20 teaches us. The other matter is, if a woman's righteousness is her righteousness and her righteousness essentially cannot cover for her husband, then how, no disrespect intended, can his wickedness bring her down? When it says, if you are wise for yourself. If you follow that which is wrong, that's on you for following that which is wrong. And is also on that person for leading you astray. But we have to ask who and how many will truly be led astray. If you already, no disrespect intended, have a concept that says, well, if the man is doing wrong and I do likewise, he's the head, and so on, that right there already has it to be what it is in that manner and where your mind is at. I would like to read something, and again, this is not to profess anybody to be better than the other. But brothers and sisters, let us look at this if we will, right? If we go to the share screen, right? This is a continuation from a teaching that we did before, all right? But before we go there exactly, I would like to turn, if we will, or read, if we will, Ezekiel 13. And let's see what we see in that particular portion. All right? Should come up on the screen. Yes. And the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel, that prophesy and say thou unto them that prophesy out of their own heart. Hear ye the word of Yah. Thus saith Yah Elohim, woe unto the vile prophets that follow their own spirit and things which they have not seen. O Israel, thy prophets have been like foxes in ruins. Ye have not gone up into the breaches, neither made up the head for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of Yah. What does it mean about making a hedge? You didn't give the people any protection being a prophet. Your leadership is to help warn the people from what the Most High may do that is not the happiest for the people. Like it says in Ezekiel, warn them of me. You understand? You have not gone up in the breaches. You stayed aloof. You made yourself unapproachable. They have seen vanity and lying divination that say, the Lord Yah saith, and Yah have not sent them, yet they hope that their word would be confirmed. Have ye not seen a vain vision, and have ye not spoken a lying divination, whereas ye say Yah saith, albeit I have not spoken? We are in Ezekiel chapter 13. Therefore, thus saith Yah Elohim, because ye have spoken vanity and seen lies. Therefore, behold, I am against you, saith Yah Elohim. And my hand shall be against the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies. They shall not be in the council of my people, neither shall they be written in the register of the house of Israel. Neither shall they enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord God. Because they have led my people astray, saying, peace, and there is no peace. And when it buildeth up a slight war, behold, they dub it with witted plaster. And unto them that verse 11, say unto them that dub it with witted plaster, that it shall fall. There shall be an overflowing shower, and ye, O great hailstones, shall fall, and a stormy wind shall break forth. And lo, when the wall is fallen, shall it not be said unto you, where is the daubing wherein ye have daubed it? Therefore, thus saith Yah Elohim, I will even cause a stormy wind to break forth in my fury, and there shall be an overflowing shower in my anger, and great hailstones in fury shall consume it. So will I break down the wall that ye have dubbed with witted plaster, and bring it down to the ground, so that the foundation thereof shall be uncovered, and it shall fall, and ye shall be consumed in the midst thereof, and ye shall know that I am Yah. Thus will I spend my fury upon the wall and upon them that have dubbed it with witted plaster. And I will say unto you, the wall is no more, neither they that dubbed it. To wit, the prophets of Israel that prophesy concerning Jerusalem, and that see visions of peace for her, and there is no peace, saith Yah Elohim. Brothers and sisters, that is in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 13. And it speaks about speaking to the prophets of Israel that made a wall after not going into the trenches that the people would lean on in that World War IV. Now, let's just read 2 verses more of this. And thou, son of man, set thy face against the daughters of thy people that prophesy out of their own heart, and prophesy thou against them, and say, thus saith Yah Elohim, woe to the women that sew cushions upon all elbows, and make pad for the head of the persons of every stature to hunt souls. Will ye hunt the souls of my people and save souls alive for yourselves? Brothers and sisters, unless I'm mistaken, there is no portion where it says because the men went astray and now you got women who go astray, that is all the fault of the male regarding the female, nor the opposite way. So let's look at it. The teaching and the concept that says that if a man is not living upright, and therefore you see the woman being his reflection, not living upright, is not the culture of Israel. Key, because in kakamta, if you are wise, kakamta laka, you are wise for yourself. And if you scorn, you alone shall bear it. So, brothers and sisters, we can't sit there and talk about the virtuous daughters of Zion and the strong women of the house of Israel. And then once it comes down to righteousness or wickedness, it's, well, either woman is wrong because of him. No, because when you're right and he's wrong, then whose fault is that? Whose fault is it for the woman that has the good man, but she's wicked? Whose fault is it that he's wicked and she's righteous? It's about, in so many words, a matter of taking accountability. See, when you already have a matter in your mind to sit there and make things up and things of say that kind of nature, and you already have your forgiveness packet and so forth and so on, that right there is ridiculous. Shalom Beit Zadok. Thank you for joining on. We had just read out of the book of Ezekiel, chapter 13, and part of it was to show that a man's righteousness, if he's with the woman, does not cover for her. Neither does his wickedness shed off on her. She decides whether she can be righteous or will want to be righteous or wicked, brothers and sisters. So that's something, again, we care to bring out. If I can be heard well and people are in good spirits, please type in the number 4. If I can be heard well and people are in good spirits, please type in the number 4. Thank you for that, family. All right. We are going to continue inside of the matter of the history lesson. It is not going to be complete tonight. There's more PowerPoints that we still got to go over, but just want to continue where we had left off. All right. So it's called From Isaiah to the Maccabees, From the Maccabees to the Asiento. All right. We try to, in Danitepublications, go over a series of history matters, not being redundant, but harping on one point, bringing out another, harping on another point, bringing out another. And again, we are open to constructive criticism. Thank you for that, family. So let's pull this up, if we will, brothers and sisters. This should show on the screen. Now here it says, why do some say Israelites do not teach history? The Hasmoneans, who were Israelites, in the era of Pompey, who was a Roman, had Hyrcanus II, who was an Israelite, as their leader, but he was a ward of Antipater, who was an Edomite. So what's going on? You got Pompey, a Roman, friends with the Edomites. The Romans called the Edomites the people of Idumea. All right. So you may have some who would have said that Rome itself was Edom. But how can that be the case when we already know you are what your father is? So now, if Rehoboam's mother in the Bible was an Ammonite woman, but his father was of the house of Israel, that makes Rehoboam of the house of Israel. So now when you read, for instance, in Joshua, for those who read it, right, and it says that the people of Edom mixed in with the people of Kittim, and the people of Kittim are in Chronicles of the book of the Book of Chronicles is shown to be from the people of Japhet, that still holds weight because you still are what your father is, even if it's the European Japhetic nations with the Asiatic Edomites. So you have to find out which one was the father and say that particular case. There is no nation totally mixing in with another nation that simply becomes obliterated or mixed in and absorbed. No, your cultures might be absorbed, but your ethnic background and your pedigree and who you come from as a people is not fully absorbed if you still are what your father is. So let's continue. The Maccabean independence was from 143 to 63 BCE. The time when Pompey was not in Jerusalem, we see Crassus in the temple, and he stole from the temple. Crassus died in 53 BCE. When Crassus died, the Israelites struck for freedom. This was put down by Longinus, and then he sold 30,000 Israelites into slavery. That's important for us to remember. Antipater, who was of Edom, Pompey, who was of Rome, buddy, died in 43 BCE. When Antipater died, Parthia set up Antigonus as king. He was the last Hasmonean king. Antigonus was killed by Mark Antony. Mark Antony was defeated by Octavian. Antony committed suicide eventually. Mark Antony, that is. Herod, the son of Antipater, became friends with Augustus. Augustus and Octavian are the same person. Herod defeated the Parthians for Rome, and Rome set him up as the leader. So this is how you can see Herod, the son of Antipater of Idumea, the Edomites, friends with brothers and sisters, the people of Rome. They were friends. It was not a thing because of their mixing in together that Edom got absorbed by Rome or vice versa. All right? That's something we care to bring out in that particular case. Thank you for that. Now, I've showed this map before, right? But I was thinking to show this again. What do we see here on the left side? We see Rome going against Jerusalem. And then we see the people that were in Jerusalem, according to the map, People Wisdoms of West Africa, going from there and into Egypt, into Elephantine, which we have spoken upon, Monroe, Khartoum, and then going west in that particular case. All right? So they would not go, brothers and sisters, north like Esau, Edom truly did in great numbers, being attacked by people from the north. See, the Israelites and the Edomites were not friends. The Romans and the Edomites were friends. The Israelites and the Edomites were not friends. The friends were Esau and Rome. Their common enemy was the house of Israel. And Israel had two enemies, one being Esau, Idumea, and the other being the Romans. Let's continue, family. The Romans in, quote, the hood. After the era of Augustus, we see Tiberius. Tiberius was the second Roman emperor. After Tiberius, we see Caligula. Both Caligula and Claudius, who was his uncle and successor, were friends with the grandson of Herod, Agrippa II. It should be noted that the Israelites during this time were under the subjugation of the Romans. Tacitus points out that the Roman Emperor Caligula wanted his image in the temple. The Israelites refused. They say Tacitus was willing to fight instead. The Israelites during the time of the famous Caligula of Rome, and we know how he passed away with the Roman people slaying him and then putting his uncle Claudius as a ruler in that particular case. He wanted to have a quote unquote celebration, a party, if you will, where the wife of a man would be sexually involved with two other men that were neither of those men being her husband, while her husband was one of the two men involved sexually with somebody else's wife. That was some of the stuff the Romans were into. During the time of Caligula, then Claudius, we see that the Israelites in part formed what is called the Zealots or the Sicarii. They were willing to kill Israelites who were willing to conform to Rome. In the time of Nero, which is after the time of Claudius, there was a Roman procurator named Florus. He stole money from the temple, and the Israelites revolted on account of such. The Israelites also during this time fought among themselves while being oppressed by the Romans. Sounds like our people here, huh? That's something I care to point out. And they eventually lost. Hence, brothers and sisters, the army of Florus, who was the Roman procurator, crucified Israelites and sold Israelites into slavery. The Israelites too participated in slaying other Israelites, and in 68 AD, they killed 12,000 of their own people. In the 1930s, black people were lynched in the United States by white mobs. In the 1990s, blacks were killing blacks in street gangs, such as we see with, quote, Bloods and Crips, which is horrible. So who's winning on the House of Israel side when Israel is against Israel, having common enemies such as Rome and Esau? Sadly for Israel, was a no-win situation in part. Nero committed suicide. Vespasian, the next Roman leader, now comes to the scene, and the Edomite leader Agrippa II is accompanying him. Vespasian went in time to Rome, and his son Titus laid siege to Jerusalem. Michael Grant, in his book called The History of Ancient Israel, states the following. After urging surrender in vain, Titus pressed on with the siege. He succeeded in capturing the temple, which was totally consumed by flames. Elsewhere in Jerusalem, however, the Jewish resisting groups, although weakened by famine, continued to hold out, while Titus's soldiers were permitted to plunder, massacre, and burn. Finally, after a defense that had lasted for 4.5 months, every part of the city had fallen. As in other parts of Judea, huge numbers of prisoners were taken, destined for execution or starvation or slaughter in gladiatorial shows. Anyone able to claim a connection to the house of David was also hunted down and eliminated. Who would have wanted that to be? Could it be the Edomite connection to the Romans that they were so vehemently, in part, wanting to go against the house of David? Did not David have Edom in subjection in the past? Did not round or 200 years from the timing of David having them in subjugation, that the Edomites broke away from that, which takes you back to the portion that Isaac gave to Esau. It says that he will rule over you, Esau, and in time you will come to break his yoke from off of your neck. So say around the timing of when the Moabites and the Edomites rebelled from under the hegemony of Israel. Yes, Israel did have captives. You understand? Did the Edomites, as it says in Ezekiel, hold on to a hatred of old? Why would you want to specifically go hard against the house of David? What was about the house of David that we can show a connection and how they make war with the Most High? There's a covenant that the house of David has with the Most High. The Most High has a covenant with the house of David. You, whoever you are, in this case Esau, wanting to go against the house of David is in your spirit and mind breaking off the covenant that had been made between the Most High and the house of David. Let's continue. Reach out. My number is 908-587-4841. Maurice Abadi, a French historian, asserts that the Semitic origin of the Fulani of the Niger cannot be questioned. He believes Jews from North Africa also joined their brethren many years later in the 2nd century AD to found the Empire of Ghana. There are others that say this holds credence since there are Fulani found in Senegal and the Cameroons. This can be found in the book written by Moses Farrar. May the Most High continue his life. In 1528, Rabbi Abraham ben Eleazar Halevi reported that the tribes of Dan and Gad, which were of the house of Israel, were living in Ethiopia. In 1542, Rabbi Moses Basola of Ancona went on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. When he arrived in Beirut, he met 4 Jews from Babylonia. One named Moses stated to Basola he heard of Arabs who had seen it with their own eyes, that there was indeed such a thing as the Sembatian River, and that the, quote, sons of Moses inhabited it without a doubt, to the Parfit in his book. Brothers and sisters, I met the elder Moses Farrar cited there, and I was recently told that the man is still among us and doing well. May the Most High continue to bless his life. I met Moses Farrar over 20 years ago, and he is very well known as an author in the house of Israel. Look him up and get his books from online. Thank you, family. I'm going to show one of his books just to give the man the honor, if we will, right? Let's look if we will in this particular case, right? If we were to say go here, right? Moses Farrar books. Let's look here, family, in this particular case. Right? This is one right here. When it says the Hebrew heritage of Black Africa. All right? I'm actually following him on mine. So if we were to continue to look up this elder, we see the other books. A Non-Christian's Response to Christianity. I got to rebuy that one. The Deceiving of the Black Race. What Black Christians should know and don't about Christianity. The Hebrew Scriptures and the Greek Scriptures, the vast difference. And we see his books there for those who are interested. All right? So just want to show that as we will in that particular case. So family, let us continue. If we will, we won't pull this up. We don't intend for this to even be long. Thank you for the time. All right? Let's continue. It goes on to say, Joel Rogers stated that West Africa has Black Jews also. And that's in his book, 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro. According to John Blassingame, we see that Oluda Equiano stated the following. Oluda Equiano and Igbo stressed the similarities between the Old Testament Jews and those of his own people. Like the Israelites in their primitive state, our government was conducted by our chiefs or judges, our wise men and elders, and the head of the family with us enjoyed a similar authority over his household, with that which is subscribed to Abraham and the other patriarchs. The law of retaliation obtained almost universally with us as with them, the Israelites, and even their religion appeared to have shed upon us a ray of its glory. For we had our circumcision, we had our sacrifices and burnt offerings, our washings and purifications, and on the same occasions as they did. That's according to Oluda Equiano, who lived, brothers and sisters, in the 18th century and was a captive, was a slave during the matter of the Atlantic slave trade. I like to pull up something in regards with that, brothers and sisters, if we will. All right. Here we have, right? Olauda Equiano, sorry, right? This is the book that speaks upon what we were talking about, so we can say the reference in that particular case. All right. Now, I cited a book called Slave. No, what was the book exactly by John Blassingame? The Slave Community is the name of his book. But the same citation about Oluda Equiano has been in different books. All right. So you can look that up online if you care to, for those who are interested. Let's continue, brothers and sisters, and get into this. All right. Thank you for that. Take notes and go to Amazon.com. The Israelites were noted as being in West Africa. The next people to attack the Israelites were the Arabs. Joseph Williams, in his book, Hebrewisms of West Africa, stated the following. In the 7th year of the Hagera, Muhammad assembled a force of 1,600 warriors and marched against the Jewish strongholds of Khaybar. The Jews were subjugated or slain, and there was much booty, including a new wife for the prophet, meaning in the Islamic world, the prophet Muhammad. The attacks on the people in West Africa from the Arabs is not to be denied. Queen Kahina, who lived in Algeria in the 7th century AD, is noted as a woman who was of the Berber Jews who went against the Arabs. Now, brothers and sisters, the books that you see, you can get by typing in the author name, Yeshaya Yisrael, Yeshiah, and last name, Yisrael, and you can see these books come up if you're interested. Recently, what I've noticed is that not being racial, Caucasians, white people, if you will, have been going hard about the Arab slave trade, and the Arabs are doing this. You always say the Atlantic slave trade, but what about the Arab slave trade? Lead the black man into studying the Arab slave trade that Muslims even talked about. See what you come up with. See who are the Arabs going against in their own matters. Read the records of Ibn Battuta, brothers and sisters. Find out what he was saying about the people in Western Africa. Find out what Queen Kahina, as you was mentioning earlier, saying that we have to fight for the tribe of Judah against the Arabs. See, when you're trying to perhaps, and not saying no disrespect, deflect from you, and you want us, black people, as if we didn't know about the Arab slave trade, we did know about it. We talk perhaps more about the Atlantic slave trade, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the British, the French, the Spaniards, because we speak today Portuguese, French, English, and Dutch throughout the Western Hemisphere. So it may affect us more. So we might talk about it more. But perhaps trying to deflect, not trying to help black people in history, knowledge in history, no. It's a deflect matter. What about the Arabs? And you're going to see what these Arabs said, who they were subjugating. So this is something, brothers and sisters, to look into. We are going to, at this time, family, conclude this particular part of the presentation. And we hope and we pray that everybody is well and will be better. Subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share, family. And I'm going to say, family, I am open to constructive criticism, and my number is there, 908-587-4841, for those who are interested. All right. Thank you, my brother Chief Shama, for joining us. Thank you, my friend Beit Zadok. And I don't know who Chevelle Wallace is, but thank you for joining us in the presentation as well. All right. So we're going to close out with the timing allotted. Subscribe to the channel so you know when we come back on. May we be blessed by our Maker. Shalom.